Hey, what's up everybody? This is ePhoenixN, and I'm actually doing something a little different today. I'm doing a kind of PlayStation 3 versus Xbox 360 video on this. This is all PS3 footage because I just started hooking up my PS3 so that I got component cable so I could hook it up and record it on my Hauppauge. Anyway, and I thought I'd kind of take a look at the PS3 and the Xbox and do a kind of comparison. I know it's been done over, and maybe it's a bit of a dead horse, beat a dead horse type thing. But I thought I'd give my analysis of it because I do have both systems, and so I think I have a rare viewpoint of these, where most people they have one system and they love it or they like it somewhat, and so they're for one side or the other, and you kind of get this retarded like bitch fest at each other a lot of times. But I figured I would give my more experienced, I think, considering I do have both sides and I have played both sides fairly extensively. So I will give my viewpoint on the PlayStation 3 versus the Xbox 360. First off, I want to say, as far as good points for the PS3, considering this is my more recent console that I've gotten, the very good things on it is the exclusives, the games like Uncharted 2, God of War 3, Heavy Rain. Those games have very, very good graphics. I would say maybe slightly better graphics than the best of the Xbox 360 games, which is nice. Um, on the flip side of that, the games that are multi-platform, like say Red Dead Redemption, don't look nearly as good and don't look as nearly as crisp as those on the Xbox 360. And from what I understand, it has to do with a lot of the coding issues. That's much, much more difficult to code games for the PS3 than it is for the Xbox 360. And so, go figure that they don't turn out nearly as well for the PS3. So, in a sense, you do take a hit with that with the multi-platform games. Let's see, what else? What else is good? I do like the PlayStation 3 store. I like that they offer a lot of the PS1 classics and things like that, and they offer it pretty cheap. I think that's pretty cool, and I also like how you can buy, say if you get put money in your wallet, you can buy the exactly $5.99 or whatever that you pay for a game instead of having to spend $10 and have an extra 400 Microsoft points or whatever just sitting around for a month or two before you can use them. I think it's kind of cheap that how Microsoft did that, and that's kind of obnoxious. Obviously, one of the big pluses that people have is for the PlayStation 3 is that it has free internet usage that you can play free. I know there's PlayStation Plus that adds some things to it, but as of yet, it's still free, and I think that's a good thing. It's a nice thing. I would have no problem, and I have no problem paying for the Xbox 360, but I wouldn't particularly want to pay for both consoles. And I don't really play multiplayer that much on, or pretty much at all, to be honest, or very little anyway, on PlayStation 3, just because I think Xbox 3 is better multiplayer online system. But like I said, I do like the store. I think that's good, and I think it's nice that it's free. But the flip side, if you had just one console, that should not be a sticking point, because really the $4 a month for Xbox is nothing. I mean, anybody in the world, well, not anybody, but 99% of the people in the United States or Canada or anything like that can afford that. Europe, I mean, don't buy 3 sodas this month and bam, you can play hours of entertainment on Xbox 360, and you get a lot for it, which I think is nice. I mean, just a variety of things from Netflix and whatnot to do it. The last thing I can think of, anyway, for the pluses for the PS3 is really just the Blu-ray. I think the Blu-ray is interesting, it's nice, it's good, it's pretty, but unless you're a really big movie fan and you really like, and you have a big sound system and a big TV and all this stuff, I'm not sure it's necessarily worth it just to get a Blu-ray player with it. But if you are a big, you need Blu-ray because you're kind of obsessive about getting your quality to that standard, I guess, then yeah, it might be worth it for that alone. But if that's not kind of a deal breaker as far as when looking at the console system, then it's not that big of a deal. For me, I'm perfectly fine getting just normal high definition for movies. Most of the movies, it doesn't make that much of a difference anyway. I'm not watching it. Like, I have a 42-inch TV and it does full HD quality to it and everything, but it's not that big of a deal to me. So it's personally not a deal breaker whatsoever for me. And I don't even have a Blu-ray disc at all, and I do have a PS3, so take that as you will. But I guess for PS3 negatives, the big thing that I that's really obnoxious. So I guess the big two things that are really bad about the PlayStation 3 is the party system, in which you have to like back out of a game and like invite people, and it's just difficult to add and drop people from the party system. And that's something that they should have fixed 6 months ago, and I don't know why they can't, or why they haven't. I'm not privy to that information, but it does seem to me that that they're just they should. That's just a problem. Like, I mean, that can ruin your entire experience with that, and I don't like that at all. Other than that, let's see. I think the other big problem is the headsets. I know all the headsets are like Bluetooth wireless, and I've heard over and over again, and it's become obviously apparent that the headsets just suck. They don't work with crap. They're fuzzy and they're cut out, and they suck. That's basically what I hear, is that they suck and that they're horribly bad as far as that goes, at least in comparison to the Xbox. And again, that's one thing that's like, how does that not get fixed? That should be something that's patched pretty regularly. That's fixed easily, I would think, but evidently not. Anyway, so those are kind of the things that first come to mind as far as the big negatives for the PS3. I guess one thing also is that it doesn't have nearly the arcade games, the quality arcade games that Xbox 360 has. Like the Xbox 360, the arcade games of like Castle Crashers, Monday Night Combat, Limbo, what are there's Geometry Wars. I'm not sure if Geometry Wars on PS3 or not, but like there's a lot of different arcade games. Death Spank, for one, that are very good that just aren't on the PlayStation 3. And it's kind of lame because, you know, sometimes those $10 games are the most fun you have on a system. And so, yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's about all I can think of as far as positives and negatives for the PS3. For the Xbox, obviously, I think the positive is the arcade system. It's the positives. Xbox Live, I think, is better. And even if you have to pay for it, I think there's more there to it, and it's just a better system overall, and so it's worth the $4 a month. I would say for the Xbox, the only real downside is it doesn't have Blu-ray. You have to pay for it, and maybe the exclusives aren't as good. It doesn't have those exclusives that really are kind of game changers. I think at best it's Halo, but now that Halo's kind of dead, for the most part, I mean, Halo Reach is over, but I don't know, it just, now that Halo Reach is done, there's not really much to look forward to, unless you desperately want to get Halo Reach, which is not a bad thing. It's obviously a very good game, but just, I don't know, not not worth getting a console for that specific game. So, you know, and the flip side, I'd rather have like Uncharted 2 or Metal Gear Solid 4 or Little Big Planet and those, Heavy Rain, than I would the exclusive for the Xbox 360. So I think that's kind of a negative for the 360. But, you know, kind of the final breakdown of how I see this on the comparison of the two is that if you desperately want a Blu-ray player, or no, then the PS3 is probably for you, and that's a good thing. But if you're more into online gaming, if you're more into, you know, and you want like a better online gaming experience with like the party system, with the mic system, and everything like that, definitely the Xbox is the way to go with that. Really, the only thing that I could see that really would make you, if you only had one system and you had to pick, get a PS3 over an Xbox, is really the Blu-ray. Other than that, like even the exclusives are very good, and they're very fun and they're great games. But still, I think the better Xbox Live experience, and the better arcade games available, and things like that counterweigh whatever pros that the PS3 has in relation to that. So, anyway, I figured I will bring you some more content soon. I know I've been a little bit lazy. I haven't put anything out for about a week, but I'll put some more stuff out soon. I'm thinking of putting some PS3 stuff on here now that I got that hooked up to my Hauppauge. So anyway, guys, have a great afternoon, and I will see you with the next video soon. Peace.
What the hell were those things?
I don't know. I don't know. Are you okay?
Yeah. Nate?
Okay. I don't think they can get through this.
Nate?
What?